Bleacher Report put out a list of teams that are reportedly interested in the service of Ben Simmons. The New York Knicks, who we just discussed, were among those teams. Also, we have the Lakers, the Timberwolves, the Blazers, the Kings, the Pacers, and the Cavs. Jalen, do you think we're getting closer to a deal?
I don't believe so, and here's why. Philadelphia, while they're motivated clearly to move Ben Simmons because all of the categories where he affects the game are where they're weak at. Their offensive efficiency, their defensive tenacity in particular on the perimeter. Like, he's an all-NBA defender. But the problem with this deal is what may be getting offered versus what you may potentially be able to do in the future. And if you're Daryl Morey, you got to rely on your previous relationship with James Harden and think, I want to sit back and wait and monitor how that's going to play out.
Whoa.
With the Nets.
Whoa!
Because for me, if Kyrie doesn't play this year, it's going to probably put KD in a position to where it's like almost choosing Harden versus KD. I mean, Harden versus Kyrie. Because remember, Harden isn't signed beyond this year. He has a player option beyond this year that he can opt out of for, I believe, $40 million. So say he opts out and says he wants to go to Philly. Both teams then have to be motivated to do a sign and trade at some point. So you look at these deals, and I don't think you're going to get what I consider true value for Ben Simmons right now because he struggled the last time we saw him. He didn't show up at camp, and he didn't replay his value. So now instead of me getting a top 15, top 20 player, you're not getting a guy that was an all-star last year or an all-star this year. So that's not the true value for Ben Simmons. So of course all of those teams are interested because he's a really talented player.
Well, he is, and some of these are hilarious. Like the Lakers are interested. Like if it's not Russell Westbrook, what are you going to trade THT for Ben Simmons? Like what are we even talking about here? But it's interesting to hear you talk about eyeing James Harden and KD having to decide between Kyrie and James because the Nets are number one in the Eastern Conference. KD just put up 51 in Detroit. Like we talk about this team like they're underperforming, but in my mind, they've got a great shot at winning the conference and going to the finals, and then we don't have to change anything about them.
See, hold on, that's two separate conversations. Like for anybody that pays attention to team building and relationships, things are gonna change if Kyrie don't play this year. Like things are gonna change. Those relationships change some. And you're right, they are number one in the East. KD does lead the league in scoring. And I'm so very happy he torched my Detroit Pistons like an old school throwback scorer who just shows up in the middle of the week and gets buckets. Like, I know all of that. But you also just said title contender? Stop it, Jacoby. They're not winning the championship without Kyrie, and you know it. So that's the buzzkill. It's we're going to appreciate them in a regular season, no doubt. But if y'all don't look at James Harden and feel like sometimes he looks like the Harden in Houston, and then sometimes he looks like the Harden from the Nets this year. And I'm just talking about his aggression offensively. And so based on that, I believe that if Kyrie does not play this year, that's gonna make it awkward for everybody involved. James went to go play with KD and Kyrie, not just one of the two.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.